Welcome class, day 2 of simplifying these polynomials into binomials. We're simplifying expressions, so let's just run through some vocab. One, we know these are expressions because they have no equal sign. They're polynomials, which means many termed. This one has 3, that's a trie. This one has 4, which means it's a poly. You guys don't know that yet, but we'll get into it. We're going to make them binomials, which means they have 2, like a bicycle has 2 wheels. This will have 2 terms. A term is just that word in this math sentence, and the word is separated by the operation sign plus or minus, depending. And today we're going to be working with our integer rules, which means that we're working with positive and negative terms. And I can tell a positive or negative term by the operation sign in front of it. So this is a negative 2x and a positive 3y and a positive 5x. So first thing I'm going to do, using my steps from yesterday, I'm going to identify my terms. So I have a negative 2x and I have a positive 5x. I'm going to identify those. Switching colors real quick. Oops, did I put a top on that? Then we have our 3y. Now we're going to combine them, being mindful of those operation rules. So, integer rules. We have negative 2x plus 5x, which means that this is going to be a 3x, because we're actually finding the difference with that negative 2. It's the same thing as saying 5x minus 2x, which would equal 3x. Y is all by itself, so we're just going to bring y down. It started as a positive, it's going to end as a positive, and that's our final answer. Looking at example 2 now, a little more complicated, a little more terms. So we're going to first identify the a's. So we have negative 3a, positive 7a. Remember, I'm always keeping those operations with my values. Now I'm going to identify my b's. I have a negative 2b, grabbing that subtraction sign. Now it's value sign, so it's a negative. Now I'm going to combine, remembering those integer rules. So I have negative 3a plus 7a, which is the same thing as saying 7a minus 3a, which equals 4a. So we're finding the difference when it's a split. And then I have a negative 2b and another negative 2b. So remembering our number line, that means we'd be going to the left another 2. So it's actually, we're going to be adding the values but keeping the sign. So we have 2 plus 2 equals 4, and we're keeping that sign. So it's going to be a negative 4b. Killing it. Last but not least, even more complicated, because I purposely gave you ones without anything in front. So this is something we've been struggling with. So we always want to remember that if we just see a variable, we can always assume the coefficient is 1. So n is really 1n and m is really 1m. Basically, just because it means the same thing, so we write it simply. Negative 3m is my first term. Plus 1m is my second. Looking for the blue marker that I threw on my desk, I have plus 1n and plus 2n. So I have negative 3m plus my 1m, which equals negative 2m. And then I have 1n plus 2n, which is going to be 3n. So one thing I'm going to have you guys notice, if you always look at my variables, I always mark them alphabetical. So x to y, a to b, m to n. Even if you don't do that from the beginning, for example, looking at example 3, if I had 3n minus 2m, the best option would be to put that into proper form, and I would preserve this, so it would be negative 2m, and then I would add my 3n. Getting this, because this is considered a little more correct. That's it. You guys are going to do great.